Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Abid Ilman Fisabil. In this video, I'm going to be showing you my visualizations on uh, COVID-19 in Indonesia and a little bit of my analysis relative to the graphics. This video is made as a final project for visualizations with Streamlit Masterclass by Hactive 8. So in this Streamlit app, web app, I have made several features. First one is the daily case, visualizations on daily cases, and the second one is the visualizations on the lockdown policy by Indonesian government. The third one is the visualizations on the data by provinces, and the last one is the visualizations on the vaccinations in Indonesia, COVID vaccinations in Indonesia. So for the daily cases, as we can see, this is the graph. So this is the graphic for daily infection cases, the recovered cases per day, and as well as the um, death cases per day. What we can see here is that the first two lines, the infection cases per day and the recovered cases per day, are actually pretty close to each other. Well, that means if like we have 1,000 people infected in a particular day, then we're gonna have like 1,000 people recovering from the cases. In terms of healthcare capacity, we can say that if 1,000 people are coming into the hospital because of the virus, then in the same day we're gonna have 1,000 people as well coming out from the hospital recovering. Second thing that is interesting from this graphic that we can see is that the death cases per day, the line for death cases per day, is actually quite flat throughout the pandemic period until now, even though the infection cases are rising in significant amount. So we can actually say that as a whole, Indonesia is doing pretty well at handling the COVID-19 pandemic. So for distributions, we can actually say that in a particular day, for example, in one particular day, we can have 7 to 8,000 people infected by the virus, and on the same day we can have 7 to 8,000 as well people that are recovering from the virus, and unfortunately we lose 2 to 300 people per day. So that's pretty much all that I can say from this first graphics. Now let's go ahead for the second visualizations, which will focus on the lockdown policy. So basically in Indonesia we have two types of lockdowns. So the first one is PSBB. This is the first type of lockdown, the earliest type of lockdown, and the second one, probably the revised version of lockdown, we call it PPKM. So as you can see from the PSBB period, we barely see any declines, any sign of declines in the number of cases per day. But when it comes to the PPKM period, we can see that there's a clear sign of declines in the number of cases. For more clarity, we can see from this graph below. So basically the blue areas over here is the PSBB period, and the red areas over here is the PPKM period. Well, we can see until we reach the first peak of the daily cases, we have been implementing PSBB, the first type of lockdown, and the cases keep going up in that period. until we reach the first peak, and then the government changed the policy and then name it PPKM. I don't know for what reason, but it seems that this type of lockdown was able to bring the cases down. Like the cases are dropping down significantly. We can see it from here. But unfortunately, at the end of the first implementation of PPKM, the cases are going up for the second peak, and then we implement the PPKM again for the second time, and it seems that it worked. The number of cases dropping down very, very significantly. From these visualizations, we can actually say that the graphic with the PPKM period is actually better than the graphic with PSBB period, even though the number of cases are so pretty high with the PPKM period, but at least we are seeing declines in the cases per day, whereas in the PSBB period we barely can see any declines in the cases. Now let's go ahead with let's see how the COVID-19 by the region, by a province. So in this graph, we're seeing the 15 most affected provinces. You can see Jakarta as the number one most affected, and most of these provinces are coming from the Java Island, which then indicates that Java Island is holding more cases than the rest of the provinces in Indonesia. But that's probably because they have more citizens than the rest of the provinces in Indonesia. Probably. So, to make it fair, let's just normalize the data and see the growth and compare it to the national growth. So we're taking some of the provinces from Java Island over here and try to see it and compare it to the national average. So what we see here is that most of the provinces in Java Island fall below the national average in terms of the growth of the cases. So even if they hold the most cases, but the growth is below the national average, even if they most of the provinces coming from Java Island hold the most cases, that's just probably because they have more citizens than the rest of the provinces in Asia, so that's why they hold more cases, right? So pretty much we can say having more cases than the rest of the provinces doesn't actually account to you to be the worst performing provinces. Okay, now we're moving to the last visualizations. We're going to the vaccinations. In terms of the distribution of the vaccinations, we have 50% of our people that are vaccinated with the first dose and 7% fully vaccinated, and we left like 78% people that are not vaccinated. So Indonesia still got a lot of work to do in terms of vaccinations. And interestingly, we are not just focusing on the first and second dose, we're actually trying to have the third dose as well. We can see it from here. So basically the yellow part over here is the third dose distribution. So it's very small in terms of the amount. So not many people have actually had the third dose. So what we want from this vaccination is that it is able to flatten the total cases curve, right? But we are not seeing any sign of flattening on the total cases. So it's still going up, the number of cases still going up in terms of total cases. Maybe we're not seeing it yet for now, but maybe in the future, I don't know. But as data per August, the vaccinations don't seem to flatten the curve to our total cases. So basically, this last visualizations wrapped up all of my visualizations for this final project. Hopefully I hopefully I didn't say anything false. Hope you like this video, and if you find any false statements I probably said, you can actually correct it in the comment section below. Thank you for watching this video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.